Well, hello, folks, and welcome to another episode of Entrepreneur Experts Cafe. I'm Kimberly Crow, your host and the creator of Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel, which is sponsoring Entrepreneurs Experts Cafe. Today, I am here with a good friend of mine, Tammy Gross. Tammy is a scriptpreneur. She can help you get your story to Hollywood. Is that right?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, super glad that you were able to carve time out of your day to be here with us. Before we get into how people can get their story to Hollywood, tell us how you became an expert in this particular area.
Well, I think I started the way most people do when it comes to screenwriting, where I had a story idea. And it was kind of one that just came to me when I was at a museum, and it was a pirate museum that I was just on vacation in the Keys. And I learned about these two female pirates that really lived 300 years ago. And when I read about them, I'm like, they are so fascinating. And I'm thinking, I've never heard their story before. How is that possible? I've never seen a movie about them or anything. And immediately I could just see their entire life stories being up on the big screen, and it's like, so I just had to write their story. So I did a lot of research. A lot of people do that if they have historical kind of thing. And I went all around the world, had actually real adventures with real pirates and stuff. I mean, it was wild. And once I had that, I realized I don't know how to write a screenplay. And so I did what a lot of people do, but I was doing this in 2008. And there was a screenwriting, what do you call it? What is it called?
Course or
No. What's the word? Strike. Golly, could not think of the word strike.
Gosh.
Yes. And so all the screenwriters were on strike, and it changed how screenwriting worked completely. It made every screenwriter, instead of being the bottom rung, now we're our own filmmakers now, so things are changing in how you get information because of the internet at the same time. So I was like everybody else. I just went on the internet and tried to figure things out. But then I realized it's not even about networking, but I naturally networked by trying to get classes and trying to find out things. I even started my own screenwriting group in my town. And that turned into something where I realized I was getting it. And people were coming to me very naturally and saying, can you help me with this? Can you help me with this? And I was winning a couple of contests with some of my short screenplays. And that's how I got started in helping other screenwriters, is that they just started coming to me, and I'm like, okay, I'll put up a shingle and I'll be a screenplay editor.
I love that. So you are helping people get their stories turned into screenplays and then submitted to Hollywood.
Yes.
Now your screenplay was actually optioned. Is that correct?
Yes. I have a screenplay that I was able to write in 48 hours, thanks to a retreat that I went on. That's specifically what we were there for. And it was the first time I was ever to really feel like I was accomplished, because I've been writing some shorts. I still wanted to write the pirate story, but it kept getting, too big, and I didn't know how to finish it. I didn't know how to put it all together. And that happens to a lot of screenwriters. That one passion story, it gets put on the back burner because you start learning how to really write stories. And you realize that's a big story, or that's a story that I need to tell, but I need to tell it so well that I need to tell other stories first so I can know what I'm doing.
All right.
And that's what I did. I wrote basically a ghost story, and I turned it into a book at the same time that I was signing an option with somebody who is planning to make that movie this year.
Wow, that's super exciting. I can't wait to see it come out. I'm going to be your first and biggest fan. But if people want to get started working with you, where usually are they in their life? Are they an author? Have they written a book? Are they an entrepreneur? They have a story to tell? Do they have a subject of passion?
Everything you just said.
Okay.
It can be all of those things. And my heart is actually just kind of gone out to not just screenwriters, but to entrepreneurs and speakers, people who have really powerful stories that are transformation stories. Some people call it their signature story. It might be their why story of what got them started originally. Their why story might change over time, but it was such a powerful story that maybe that's the one that they want to tell to help connect them to their audience. And so what I do is I help them from wherever they are in their journey, turn that story into something that is powerful as they're speaking. And then they can turn it into a book. They can turn it into a screenplay, and they can build an audience. And then they can also turn it into a movie.
I love it.
And then that movie can speak for them.
I love it. And it can sort of legacy outlast them as well.
Exactly.
Oh, I love this, Tammy. Thanks so much for carving time out of your day to be here with us, because this was so important and so fun. But before we let you go, any final words for our crew? Oh, before that, how can people get a hold of you to work with you?
Well, I have a website, It's wowhollywood.com.
Wait a minute. Is that right? Wowhollywood.com?
Yes.
W-O-W?
Yes.
Hollywood.com. I love that. Okay.
Yes. And if you want to know the secret to really all the way from start to finish, where I have a map to Hollywood, basically, that you can download if you just go to wowhollywood.com/map.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right. So go to wowhollywood.com/map and get a map on how you can get your story to a screenplay to Hollywood.
Yeah. And all of that, this website and everything has my email address.
Your contact information on it. Okay, great. Well, wouldn't you have a lot of fun working with Tammy in order to get your story told in the land of Hollywood? Thanks so much for being here with us today. Before we let you go, any final words for our crew?
Yeah. To get your story out, the world has to know about it. So you need to be purposeful in getting that story to the world.
I love it. Words to live by. All right, folks, this has been another episode of Entrepreneur Experts Cafe. I'm Kimberly Crow, your host. We'll see you next time. Cheers.